Hello and welcome to Discovering Libertyville, unveiling the stories and people that make our town so unique. I am your host, David Wool, and I'm thrilled to bring you this new podcast that explores fascinating stories and experiences of local business owners and community leaders right here in a place that we call home. Jan Leisure, Diamond Residential Mortgage, has been financing Libertyville homes from the same office at 533 North Milwaukee Avenue since 1999. You may also know Jan as a former teacher, or as a college instructor, or as a journalist, contributing editor to Mortgage Broker Magazine, Mortgage Originator Magazine, or the money-saving super saver who walked into supermarkets with a fistful of coupons and walked out with $400 worth of groceries, and the stores paid her, or as your mortgage banker. Jan brings all of these skills to bring your transaction to the closing table on time. Jan has commitment, determination, integrity, and a positive attitude to make your home finance experience a great one. Jan Leisure, Diamond Residential Mortgage. My Charcuterie has the perfect boards, boxes, and grazing tables for any occasion. Get-togethers and parties of all sizes will be so much tastier when you bring their delicious charcuterie designs to the table. Their team uses only the very best ingredients to ensure creations that are always curated with the highest quality meats, cheeses, and produce. Imagine hosting a holiday celebration, corporate event, or dream wedding where everyone is blown away by the striking beauty and vibrant taste of the food. That's why they call it food artistry. For your next special event, visit My Charcuterie, located at 214 Peterson Road in Libertyville. All right, ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to another episode of Discovering Libertyville. I am honored here to be with Mr. Dan Dugo from Joseph's Events. How are you, Danny?
I'm good. How are you?
Can I call you Danny?
You can.
Okay. What do most people call you, Danny?
They do.
Okay. That's why you know when people know you well or not.
Right. My business card says Daniel, but they all call me Dan.
Okay. That's good. Okay, so we're going to do a little backstory because I know that Joseph's Events, I've had the pleasure to work with you guys on hundreds of events through the years. Not saying how old we are at all. But so you grew up in Libertyville.
I did.
So did you go through the Libertyville school system and everything?
Oak Grove, and then a little bit of St. Joe's and Carmel I went to, actually.
And that's how we know each other.
And that's how we know each other.
Yes. Okay, so when, after high school, you went to college where?
DePaul.
Oh, you were at DePaul. What did you study at DePaul?
Marketing and management.
Really? How'd that work out for you?
It was good. It was nice. I worked at Arthur Andersen for a little bit. I was kind of figuring out what I wanted to do. I was an accounting major at first, and I was like, there's no way I can sit in a room by myself and crunch numbers. I will go crazy.
Right. That's a tad bit of a people person.
Yeah. So they kind of, my mentor at school actually was like, maybe you need to go into marketing. You seem like you have a little bit more of a creative brain. So that's where it led me.
Nice.
Yeah.
So at what point did you decide, how did you fall into or start your business?
Well, it was run by my dad.
Oh, I didn't know that.
Yep. So my dad owned Joseph's. He is Joe of Joseph's. I was helping him when I went to DePaul. I lived downtown. He would have events in the city. He really did not like going into the city to do events. As you know, it's kind of parking's a hassle, time is a hassle, finding people to work down there is a hassle. So when he had events down in the city, me and my boys would help out from DePaul, and I would run their events, per se, down in the city for him. So that's kind of how it started for me, starting to work with some of the party coordinators downtown. And it kind of just spun from there. Yeah, I graduated with my degree in marketing and management, but I was like, what am I doing? Why am I going to work for someone else when I can work for my dad?
Right.
So,
and it's an interesting business, especially you got thrown into events downtown.
Downtown right away. So, I mean, it was always in my blood. I mean, like, my sister works with me as well. As a punishment, if we got in trouble for anything, my dad would make us come to the store and sweep the floors, clean out buckets, mop everything, wipe the walls down in a cooler. I mean, it was our punishment. So we were constantly working, no matter what.
Well, and it doesn't sound like very many things have changed.
No, I'm still wiping down the walls and cleaning buckets. Actually, my daughter is working today. I left there to come here, and what was she doing but bleaching out buckets?
Wow.
Yeah. So.
Wow. So, how long did your dad run it?
He ran it. So,
do you have any idea what year he started?
I believe it is. We've been there. This year will be 58 years.
58 years.
Yeah.
That's amazing for any business.
So my dad ran an event company down in the city that is no longer, and was sick of traveling back and forth to the city. He lived up here in Waukegan. He grew up in Waukegan. So he basically sold his convertible, sold his boat, and opened Joseph's in Libertyville.
Wow.
So
same location?
Nope. He was on the corner of Lake Street and Milwaukee Avenue, just across from the theater there. So that complex right there with the cleaners is on the corner with the clock tower. He was in one of those buildings there.
Wow. And now where are you guys located now?
Now we're on the corner of Winchester and Milwaukee.
That's right.
Yeah.
Gotcha. For anybody that doesn't know.
It's an inconspicuous building. We barely have a sign out front, but our windows do have like portraits of events that we've done. So, people think we're a restaurant. People think, who knows what they think, but it's fine.
So did you eventually take over from your dad?
Yep. So my dad wanted to sell the business at some point, and I was like, no, I think I'll come and help run it. So I ran it with him, kind of in charge for a number of years. My sister was running the Fontainebleau in Florida, and she was doing all the special events there.
Wow.
And she was kind of tired of the corporate battle. She was going through kind of a rocky relationship with her boyfriend, so she was like, I think I just need a change. And she's like, what if I come up and help you run the business? She's like, I think I just want to kind of, quotes, come home for a little bit.
Right.
So she came back and she took over a big portion of some clientele, which is the bar and bat mitzvah end of it. With my background, and I always loved the horticulture side, so I took some extra classes. I've been to Amsterdam to see the tulip festivals and the flower markets there. So I kind of ran most of what is the fresh end of it, which is more weddings and corporate as well. But we kind of split corporate half and half.
Wow. So what is the biggest portion of your guys' business then?
I would say weddings are still a little bit bigger, but my sister probably has less mitzvahs, but the dollar value is higher. So,
so you're doing bigger events.
Bigger events. So really I don't want to say it's half and half, but it's pretty equal to bar bat mitzvahs and events to weddings and events.
Was it always that way?
Flowers were a bigger thing, but now with the prices going up, we used to do a lot of daily work, and now with like Costco and Sam's and Mariano's and Jewel that are doing a lot more flowers, the daily end of it has gone down a skosh. If people want like more of a higher design, they kind of come to a shop that has designers, and there's nothing against grocery stores. I think that it's amazing to bring flowers into the house on a regular basis, so people tend to appreciate floral more, in my mind. But they just come to us for a higher end look and or product. That's all. Right.
Because I've got to see you since 1994. I think I started DJ business. So to watch you guys, how things have adapted. I mean, since that time, especially your guys' events have really grown and doing bigger. You
kind of have to. Stuff. Because there's a lot of people that are doing it out of their house. And for me to have on Milwaukee Avenue location and pay staffing what I pay them and have trucks and be able to handle 4 and 5 events in a weekend, we kind of had to step it up a notch from just doing events to doing special events, as I want to call them.
Yes, and
that's where like professional DJs came in. Anyone can throw a mixer on their iTunes, but it's the DJs that get the music pumping. It's like for me, events are a whole scope. It's not just my decor. It's if the food is great, if the DJ is rocking and the MC is good. So for me, that's what creates the event that's special.
Right. And you've always had your heart into this. I know you take a ton of pride in your work. There's not any event I've ever gone to of yours that I haven't walked in and been like, wow.
I'm a little neurotic. And whether it's a small event or a large event, you know what? You're just as important, because there might be the millionaire at table 4 that you may be only spending X amount of dollars and they're going to spend 10 times that. Right. But it's because the people that they're at the wedding for or the event for said, oh my God, he was great to work with.
Right.
So our business is 95% referral business. We almost do no advertising.
Right. It's nice that way, isn't it? Yeah.
It's nice. And it's good people that are recommending good people.
Right.
So for me, that's the best.
Right. Because half of our things, that people that haven't worked special events, it's who we're working for means a lot.
And who we're working with as a team.
Amen to that.
Yeah. So it's more of a team effort. Because if something goes wrong, the only people you can fall back on are the people that are at that event, and it's the vendors that are continually working together to say, we got to get this thing going.
Right.
We have one chance, and we're already 2 hours into it.
That's right.
Let's figure it out.
I have 300 examples of
right.
that.
Yeah. Just the books that we could write.
Right. Exactly. And how many different things that we've gone through.
We've gone through.
So being in Libertyville, it must help with a lot of things because you're really central located here. That like you can go to the city, you can go all the way around. Even though we don't like to go to the city, we
don't like to go to the city. We go up to all the way to Milwaukee many times, and we'll go as far as west as you need. I mean, we've done stuff in Harvard now, and I think locations have changed tremendously. Like, no more is it just hotels. It is these crazy warehouses that people had no idea what to do with, and now all of a sudden it's a special event venue, and they're amazing. Right. And a vendor like me thinks it's amazing because, well, it's easy access. Right. Whereas a hotel is kind of a nightmare sometimes, with the elevators. And
you can make a big transformation, especially in a place like that.
Huge transformation.
Yeah.
So that's what we specialize in is, creating a special event or a space for your event. So because of your family being there for so long, the town of Libertyville is really, I know it's very special to you. Yeah.
So how is it having it there?
I think that people in Libertyville are true bluers for their community, without question. They support, whether it's my business as a florist or, another florist in town, they really stick to the people in the community, and they really try and support as best as they can. Without question, they're going elsewhere for other things. But as best as they can on a regular basis, Libertyville people care about Libertyville.
Yeah. It seems an extremely tight-knit community. It's
a large community, but tight-knit. It seems like everyone knows everyone. The 6th degree of separation is more to 3 because everyone knows everyone somehow.
Right.
Yeah. So.
And which makes everything work.
Oh, yeah. And it's great because, people recommend people and people say, great things about people. And this is why Libertyville has so many great restaurants because they, even during COVID, like even for my business, it was people were still calling and sending their wife flowers and putting it on the doorstep. You don't have to, my wife's not going to answer the door, but just leave it outside. I don't care. I want her to have something.
Right.
And same with Libertyville. Like, bring the flower or bring the food outside and we'll pick it up. It was, they really supported the businesses tremendously.
See, and that makes especially things like that go around, especially during a time like that. We never saw it come.
And who did? I mean, my business was the least needed and or allowed.
Right.
Like, no events over 20 people.
Right.
Like, no one wants to have a 200-person wedding that they've given me a deposit for, that now they're having 20 people. Like,
right. That was a nightmare.
It was a nightmare.
It was a complete nightmare, especially for events. All right, we're going to switch gears here for a second. So I know that you have not listened to a ton of episodes, but we do something called the Libertyville Hot Seat, where I'm going to ask you some rapid fire questions. We're going to learn a little bit more about Mr. Dugo here.
Okay.
All right.
Welcome to the Libertyville Hot Seat. The Hot Seat today is brought to you by our friends at Mickey Finn's Brewery. And by the way, if you haven't listened to Brian Grano's podcast, get over there and listen to it right away. So once again, thank you to Mickey Finn's for sponsoring the Libertyville Hot Seat.
So number one, if you had to have a superpower, what would it be? This is the serious part of the episode.
Double myself.
Ooh, I have no one's ever said that. But that's great. Multiplicity.
Because I'm a workhorse.
I know. And never take on too much either.
Never take on too much.
No. Tell me a place that you'd like to travel that you've never been.
Galapagos Islands.
Nice. Who's the funniest person you know?
Oh my God. Wow.
I know.
The funniest person I know, probably a friend from grade school.
All right. Your first car you ever had?
It was a Chevy No, it was a Buick Skylark. It was given to me by my grandfather.
Like,
and the transmission blew the second week I had it. And it was my fault, supposedly. Yeah.
Of course it was.
Of course it was.
Did that car have a nickname by any chance?
No, it was ugly.
It was,
yeah, maybe ugly.
It was just ugly.
It was just ugly. It even had plastic on the seats that my grandmother put in, like,
wow.
the old couches.
Yeah, were you driving into Carmel with that?
Oh, God, yeah.
Pimping out?
Yeah.
Love it. Do you have a hidden talent?
No. I don't. I don't.
If you do, it's hidden. You don't
It's
have
hidden.
any idea.
It's still hidden.
Would the 12-year-old version of yourself think you're cool?
Maybe. No.
No?
No. I'm kind of boring. They would think I'm cool at work, but at home I'm very boring.
Okay. All right. Well, you just have to bring him to work then.
Yeah.
Gotcha. Do you have a nickname?
Nope.
Really? You of all people, never had a nickname?
No. Stan the Man is about it.
All right.
But I think it's just because it rhymes.
Right. Exactly. Yeah. Okay, so here's a more serious one. What do you wish that you learned sooner?
Manage of money.
Amen, brother.
Yep.
What's your middle name?
Mengel, my grandparents' last name.
Awesome. Have you ever broken a bone?
No. I do not.
Really?
Yeah.
Me and you alike. That's crazy.
No.
Most people have done something.
No.
I should have broken a lot of them.
Oh my gosh.
Right. If you had to have a theme, this will be fun for you. If you had to have a theme party at your house, what would it be?
Oh my gosh. I would say retro.
Now, what's retro to you? Because we're both older men here. You know?
I would say it could be like, I don't want to say disco, but in that era.
All right. Yeah, I was thinking
70s.
somewhere between those two things.
Yeah.
1 to 10, how good of a driver are you?
9.
9.
9.
All right. What's your favorite Libertyville event to attend?
I love the car show
Yeah.
on a regular Wednesday. And
So
the wine abouts are fun. The Friday nights, those are kind of fun as well.
Nice.
Yeah.
So cars and booze.
Cars and booze.
Okay.
It's fine.
What else? Well, what else?
Yeah.
really, what else is
Do I need
there?
anything else?
Right.
Cars I can't afford and wine that's free. I think that's perfect.
Perfect. These are very serious, too. So if you had to bring somebody from out of town to Libertyville to show them around, where's the first place that you'd take them?
Oh, my. Probably the first place that I would bring
Yeah, check out my town. I'm taking you to...
Well, first of all, it would just be Main Street, but maybe Finn's.
Okay.
Just because it's a icon in Libertyville.
Right. Okay, speaking of that, what's your favorite place to eat in Libertyville? I'm not trying to throw you under the bus here.
Oh my gosh, my favorite place to eat, I would say, is... I love the tavern.
Nice. Okay, so when you walk into the tavern, if you're walking to slow-mo in a movie, what would the theme song? What's your, walk-up song?
Oh my gosh, would probably be... Oh my god, something from, James Bond or something. You're kind of walking into,
Right.
vintage... Linda does an amazing job there in decorating, so it's all... Every time you walk in, it's something cool.
That's awesome. I love it there. Can't get enough of it. What's your favorite sports team?
I would say the Hawks.
The Hawks. Highest score in bowling.
Oh my. Maybe 130. Maybe 150.
Me and you have a lot of free time to go
Maybe
bowling, right?
150. I do wear bowling shoes on a regular basis, but I do not bowl.
But they're
a lot.
fashion.
But they're fashion.
All right. Well, see, that's a
Yep.
little known fact. Well, maybe not for
They
everyone.
fit great at a bowling alley. I asked to buy them. The guy's like, those were used. I'm like, yeah, and I want these ones.
Right. Those are vintage.
These are the ones I want.
All these vintage.
My kids still make fun of me for wearing them, but whatever. I don't care.
That's too funny. Do you have a go-to karaoke song?
I did not. You don't want me to sing.
Okay, gun to your head, have to do a karaoke song.
Oh my gosh. Well, my wife and I did. What is that one by John Travolta? Is it the one? You're the one.
You're the one that I want.
Yes, that's it.
Yes.
That's the only one I've really done in karaoke.
But you have her to carry you.
yes.
Okay. That's good. That's why you know you have a great wife.
Yeah.
Tell me about the second time you got arrested.
Second time I've got arrested. I was going to say, I don't think I've even been.
Okay. It was a trap.
I was like, wow, have I even been arrested yet?
We did go to high school together. So
I know, I was like, have I? Because I'm thinking back to high school, like, have I been arrested in high school? Yeah, no.
Allegedly.
I've been taken out of a car before, but not arrested.
Gotcha. Speaking of that, so being from Libertyville and going to Carmel, it's kind of fun for you and I when you live in a town, but then you go to we're at the Catholic school.
Correct.
It was kind of cool because you got to expand your friend group so much.
Huge.
Yes. So
tremendously.
Any of your Libertyville friends look down at you for going to Carmel, or was it okay?
No, I think it was okay because a lot of good friends were on sports, so it kind of like we had a softball team and they played. Even our friends from Libertyville played on a quote unquote softball league that we were on. Right. So
it doesn't look too bad.
So it didn't look too bad. No.
Gotcha.
So
it's always interesting to see. But
the rivalry was great.
The rivalries are
great. Yeah.
How many great Carmel Libertyville football teams,
right.
games, and
so the rivalry is good.
Yeah, it's good for towns to have that.
Heck yeah.
I think so. This is a very important question. How many days in a row can you wear the same pair of jeans without washing them?
I just joked right now with my wife.
Did you
this
really?
This is on day 5.
All right.
I go because I hate putting laundry away, and I'm like, I don't care. I can't do the same shirt because it would freak me out. But the pants, maybe 7.
Okay.
As long as they're not dirty looking.
Right. And they're jeans.
And they're jeans.
Yeah.
So, 7.
Yeah, but they fit different after
right.
7.
So. Yeah. They start to feel a little dirty, so I'm like, all right, I got to switch them.
Right. As soon as I need a belt for these, then I know it's time to wash them off. Name a celebrity you've met. Most recent one, because I know that you probably met a bunch of
people. Let's see here. The most recent one. As I say, I met Oprah. And
you met Oprah?
Yes, we've done a few events for her through the years. I would say, who is the most recent I've met? I haven't met any in quite a long time.
Because they're all hibernating after everything, too.
They're all hibernating. Well, and events were shut down for 5 years.
So you met Oprah, or you've done parties
for her when she had Harpo here. We did some events for Maya Angelou for her birthday parties because Oprah would throw birthday parties for her. So, we've done stuff there. We've done...
other celebrity events.
Yeah. Jennifer Hudson, we've done stuff for her, too. But I've never really met her. It's like you get hired by a planner to do some stuff. You go in, you do your thing, you get out, kind of a thing.
Gotcha.
Whereas Oprah was a little bit more hands-on, and then made truly hands-on because she cared so much about Maya Angelou that she wanted to make sure everything was perfect.
See, that's cool.
So she's cool. I mean, yeah, as far as that's concerned, she was very hands-on and wanted to make sure it was perfect for her mentor, which was Maya Angelou.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
Okay, so that's it for our hot seat questions, but I love doing those because it helps me get to know you a little bit better and let some other people know about some things that you've done. Okay, so plans for Joseph's.
Plans for Joseph's. I think that we were thinking of moving out of town, and we've realized our space is limited there, so we warehouse most of our stuff in our location. And my sister and I were thinking of moving locations, possibly going to and I think it's still considered Libertyville. It was the Harley Davidson dealership behind there, and realized, you know what? Libertyville Town is where we started. Libertyville Town is where we want to stay. I don't need to get any bigger than I already am because I'm too hands-on. So I need to be at the events that I'm booking. So for me, unless I hire another design person to take on events, I don't want them.
Gotcha.
Per se. So I'd rather stay in the town that cares for me, that I grew up in, and
it's supported you.
It supported me through a lot.
And that's the thing I love about the town is that it seems like there's support back and forth,
huge.
Yeah, and I know that downtown brings a lot of people from out of town to have dinner and everything like that. But locally, people really still. I mean, there's a ton of restaurants to choose from, a ton of bars to choose from, but it seems like people just support each other.
Yeah, and I have people that are clients that have moved out of town that still come back to Libertyville because of the town. It's funny. They may move to Glencoe or they may move to, out to Windstone, but they come and spend their money in Libertyville because they just appreciate the people that are there. Right. I think in the kindness. From the business owners. I mean, most of the business owners in Libertyville, they're all working in their businesses and all truly care.
Right. And that says a lot.
That says a lot.
Even like you said, so somebody hires Joseph's Events to do something, you're getting Dan.
or my sister.
Right.
You're getting an owner that has been in town for 50 years.
See, there's a lot of value to that.
Yeah.
There's a lot of value to that. What are now your favorite events to do? Do you have favorite ones? Are you more of a wedding or the private ones?
Yeah, I think sometimes the private ones are fun, just because I think people don't have a notion of what they want to do, or they're like, I just want to throw an awesome party for my wife and help me transform the space.
Right.
So then it's like you're divulging into what that person likes, so there is no real theme behind it. It's more of, it's all about Dave. It's all about Susan.
Right.
It's more about, like, what is this person? Dave loves cars, smoking cigars, golfing, and the Bears. So then that whole party is surrounded just by that.
See, that's cool.
And so it's cool. So it makes you think outside the box instead of just throw me a pretty event.
Right. And those got to be great for you, too, just to be able to use your imagination and your creativity. And I'm sure the less restrictions you have for that, and when the people trust you, you can really have some fun.
And as long as they give me a great budget.
Right. The budget helps.
The budget helps, yeah. The sky's the limit when there's no budget.
Exactly. Looking through your, because you can be found on Instagram and Facebook everywhere,
Correct.
just at Joseph Events.
Joseph's Events, yeah.
Yeah, and if you guys go through there, if you're not familiar with Joseph's work, like, there's some really awesome photos on there, like complete transformations of
garages or of just homes.
Right.
That, we move all the furniture out, put fabric all over the walls, and you wouldn't even know you're in somebody's family room, kind of thing. Which is great, because people want, or like, if you're at a country club, we're doing a wedding this coming up year where she's like, my mom and dad are basically forcing me to have a wedding at the club. I don't want it to look like the club. So we are fabricating the walls and changing the, flooring and transforming the space. And she's like, oh my God, this is not going to look like the club. But I love the club now with the transformation. So it's kind of cool.
That is awesome. Because it's funny, because I don't think everybody realized the magnitude of work that you guys do. Like,
the size and the scale that we can do.
Yes.
That's the thing. It's like people grew up as Joseph's as a flower shop, and that's what it really started out as. And then my dad kind of branched out into event industry, and it's kind of just flourished from there. And the event industry, you can be an event shop and be a floral shop, or you can do the draping, the lighting, the flooring, ordering of the chairs, the china.
So you do all of that.
We can, yeah. And we'll work with people, whether there's a party planner involved. We work with them to help, source stuff, or we'll source it ourselves.
Right, and that's, I think, important for people to know, because you're like you're the go-to guy. Like, if they need something and you're already doing decorations for whatever and flowers, if there's something else they need,
just come to it, because we'll source it. Even music or DJs. I mean, we're not doing that, but we know the people that we like to work with as a team and who runs a great event. For me, it's more about the event itself. I want it to be perfect, because at the end of the day, that's where my advertising is coming from. People at table 4, people at table 9, people at table 12. Like, they're saying, oh my God, the event was amazing. Who'd you work with? Right. And as long as my name's in there somewhere, that's all that matters.
Right. And we always say that, funny enough, that you're only as good as your last event, right?
You're only as good as your last event, and you're only going to be as good as the next one coming up.
Right. No pressure there.
No pressure
at all.
Yeah. Especially with this wonderful weather we're having.
Oh my gosh. So you have a lot of weddings or events right now?
Thankfully, no, we do not, because the flowers do not like anything cold.
Oh,
as much as we think that flowers like cold, anything below like 35 is just not a happy camper.
Wow.
Yeah.
I also think it's important that we inform everybody too, because you said some stuff to me before we started recording of how much the inflation of like
flowers has gone up.
What costs the
flowers.
Yeah,
and it's not just the farms. You think the guys in the farms in Costa Rica are making the money. They're not. It's the transportation to get. I always say people, they always want whatever's in season. Well, we're from Illinois, and unless you're growing sunflowers, you're not really growing a whole hell of a lot here. So you're buying an airline ticket for flowers, no matter what.
Interesting.
We're getting our flowers from California. We're getting our, from Italy. We're getting it from Costa Rica. We're getting it from, certain areas that you're buying an airline ticket, no matter what.
Wow. See, I guess I never would have thought about it like that.
Yeah.
So I think some people need to understand how prices have
escalated, I would say, after COVID, almost double.
Wow.
To some extent. Yeah.
So that's what to expect, folks.
That's what to expect. And, so again, people are like pulling back on their reins on certain things, or they're like, oh my gosh, I did my daughter's wedding 7 years ago. How are the prices so escalated? It's like, a gallon of milk was $3 back then and now it's $6,
Right.
that kind of a thing. So it just depends on.
And times change.
Times change.
Yes.
And there are certain flowers that are relatively still inexpensive, but it's what I would call grocery store flowers that
Right.
are kind of remained because they do such huge volumes that they can keep those prices low.
And that's why they hire an expert like you, so you can maybe, if your flower budget isn't that high, that they can decorate with other things.
And we try and give you the best, I always tell my clients, the best bang for the buck.
Right.
Give me the dollar and I will try and throw you the best show for the dough, per se.
Right.
So I want it fabulous. I want it as fabulous as you can afford it.
Right.
So,
Awesome.
I'm not turning away a business because it's not enough money. But by the same token, I need enough money to make it look.
Sure.
Just come in with real expectations, and that's all I care about.
Right. And I'm sure some of those are fun for you to challenge you a little bit to go, what can I do with this?
Oh, yeah. When you have a full budget, it's easy to throw an event.
Right.
It's when they're sometimes on a tighter budget and they want something, you're like, I can do it.
Right.
Yeah.
Right. It's funny, as a business owner myself, it's fun that when you have people come in, the kind of people that you want to work with. And,
100%.
Yes. And you can know how easy that day is going to go.
100%. Yeah.
And we...
if we need extra staff to handhold.
Right. Or extra staff to let me stand outside and breathe for a little bit before I walk back in.
To walk back in.
Right.
Yeah.
And that's important. So, and we're only as good as the people that surround us.
Yeah, and we're only as good as the people that are coming through that door. So, yeah.
So, now how many kids do you have? Two. Are they interested? I know you have them working, but you think
they are and they're not.
Okay.
I think that my business is really, and we talked about this before we got on air, it's very labor intensive.
Yes.
I work a lot of weekends and late. So our events, as a florist, we're starting even on a Saturday early in the morning, and then we're meeting those brides and or grooms and or people at like noon, because that's when they're starting their photos. We stay through a whole event till 8 o'clock just to make sure the room change is over, the room is set fine, they walk in, blah, blah, blah. And then we have to go back at midnight and pick that stuff up. So then I'm working till 2 in the morning. And it's not like my weekends are full, and it's not like Monday and Tuesday I'm off. Monday and Tuesday is when my flowers come in and I'm going to the airport to pick them up. So we're there at 7 in the morning picking stuff up. So it's a 7-day-a-week business without question, and we are ecstatic if we have a Saturday off. Ecstatic.
Yes.
Now, and then at the same point, you're like, shit, I should have booked something.
I know. And what am I going to do?
What am I going to do? Like, now I don't know what to do with myself.
Believe me, I know exactly what you're
right. So it's like, you don't want the business, yet you want the business.
Yep. And so it goes. And
so it goes. And
the reason that you're still working.
Yeah, it's still working. So, yeah. Do they want to work in the business? I think they like the change of it all, but I think they really see now as youngins how much I work and how really labor intensive it truly is.
Yeah, they probably have a little bit more appreciation for what
total appreciation for what I do, and like, okay, I can see why Dad's coming home exhausted because I'm tired too now. Yeah, because I have one daughter that's working in the business that goes on events, and she's like, oh my God, I can't go on a pickup. I worked all day. It's like, well, the event's not over yet, hon.
And us old men have to do it.
Oh my God, yeah. So I'm still on pickups till 2 in the morning.
Unbelievable.
Yeah.
And you're still rocking and rolling.
I'm still, you know what? It's keeping me young.
Right. Exactly.
The gray hairs are still in me, but whatever.
And it's fun. You know what I love about your business, too, is that all the extraordinary people that you've gotten to meet and the relationships you've built and the friendships you've built.
And people from all over. I mean, I've been invited to coming to stay at people's houses in Naples, and, like, oh, you're coming here? Oh my gosh, you better stop in and say hello. Or, going to someone's house down anywhere. It's like, if someone's gone on a vacation, I'll question, okay, where did you go? Because we're thinking of going there. And all my contacts are just flooded in with who, what, where, when, and why, and what to do. So I am a people person, like you.
Yes.
So I think that the contacts you make are
life
give me my life change.
Right.
Truly.
I met someone, I won't say the establishment in Libertyville, and they were telling me about their, and thanking me for DJing their wedding. And then they were telling me about their 25-year-old and what they're doing. And right then I was realizing how old.
Yeah.
Like, oh my gosh.
Yeah.
Like, what in the hell happened? But me and you get to be intricate parts of people's lives, and those things and those relationships do last a long time.
Yeah, and as a florist end of it, we find out a lot of information prior to most people finding out. Someone's having a baby and the grandparents are calling us, we're the first people to know. Because they want the flowers to be there right, like my daughter's going into labor, she's probably going to have the baby within the next 2 hours. I want to make sure that when she gets into a room, those flowers are standing there. So we're like, oh my God, Sue's having the baby in 10.
Right.
So we're at Condell waiting, to drop the flowers off kind of a thing.
That's awesome, though.
Yeah.
I'm sure it's
or for the divorce party. Susie's throwing a divorce party because she's rocking and rolling and single and mingle. Oh, yeah.
Really?
Oh, yeah.
Okay.
And it might be for a bunch of, ladies or men, but either way, they're just happy to be on to the next phase of their life, and they're celebrating the next phase.
Right. Kind of like
stepping into the next phase instead of looking at it as a negativity. Yes, it is sad, but they're trying to make a positive out of it and saying,
all kinds of celebrations.
Time to move ahead.
Right. And celebrations of life.
Celebrations of life. Yeah, no doubt.
Yeah.
Yeah. Celebrations. Yeah. And Joe of Joseph's, we had his celebration of life at the Pyramid House in the Wadsworth.
Awesome.
My dad was a big party person, so we had to throw it. He was like, I don't want you looking at me in a box, kind of a thing. Have people come and celebrate and talk about me and my events. Don't look at me in a box and be like, oh, he was such a great guy. No, I don't want that.
Right.
So we kind of threw him a party.
Which is a great thing to do.
And had all of his favorite foods from quite honestly, restaurants in Libertyville. We catered 6 different foods that he liked, that he always ate in Libertyville. He moved back from Florida after being there for 25 years and moved back into Libertyville to end his kind of life here with his kids. And so it was kind of cool.
Well, what a great way to do that, though. You know what? Because really, you have to celebrate at that point too, right?
Oh yeah.
And no matter how awful it is, because we've both lost parents, and it's a hard thing.
It's not easy.
No.
And it doesn't get any easier with years.
No.
In my mind.
No. But I would say it just gets a little bit better. But it's still,
it's still
the knife's still sticking out.
It's still a sword.
Right.
Yeah.
But I think it's interesting to learn, and many people probably don't know that there are big divorce parties. There's celebrations of life, but there's so many other
things.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
We're getting close to the end here. Coolest party you've ever done? Your favorite one? Is there one that sticks out in your mind? You're like, damn, that was awesome.
My gosh. Yeah, we did a party I think it was on the lakefront in Winnetka, and we transformed a gentleman's garage. It was a 7-car garage that was under the house for his wife's birthday, and it was a complete surprise. She had no idea. And we were in her basement probably for 5, or I should say in her garage. It was really the basement, though. For about 5 days, she just thought that her husband was having some stuff done in the garage for his cars. So he had gotten all of the cars out, and basically we put in 1x2s, refabricated all of the walls in fabric, hung chandeliers, and transformed it, and it was a complete surprise. And for me, that's the best part of it all. When someone like that, you're stumping someone and she's living in it.
Right.
That's, for me, that's a special event.
Right.
And she had no clue.
That's unbelievable. And right underneath her notes.
Because her car was always up front. The garage is up top. These were for his specialty cars.
That's fantastic.
So it's kind of cool.
Yeah, I was going to ask you the worst event you ever did.
Lake Forest, pouring rain, Clearview tents, sides caved in because the rain turned into water, mudslides. But quite honestly, those people rocked it. After they realized there's nothing we can do, my shoes are ruined and my dress is soaking up with water.
Yes.
Screw it, let's party.
Right.
Yeah.
Actually, one of my favorite parties I ever did was at the Cuneo Mansion. And it rained so hard and it was so terrible that no one could leave.
No one could leave. That's what I tell people all the time.
Extension cords were up on chairs, but people were dancing in the water and everything, but they were stuck.
I tell people all the time, I'm like, even if it starts raining, hopefully it pours rain and they're going to stay another 20 minutes because it's going to slow down in 10 minutes. So I'm going to have to stay and have another cocktail.
Right. And just make it more fun.
And they make it more fun and then they stay another hour.
Right. Exactly.
Because there's always those people who want to leave it 10 on the mark. And then,
that's right.
if you get them to stay a little bit past 10:15, they're there till 11:12.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So a lot of things that people think are bad, like the worst party it could turn into.
And it's still talked about. I mean, they're still clients of mine, and they're like, God, remember the wedding?
Yeah, it's legendary now.
Legendary. People still talking about the wedding and the rain and how they ruined their shoes, and it's like, yeah.
How fun was that cleanup after that? I'm sure
that was a nightmare.
I'm sure
there was a lot of ruined stuff.
All right. So how many events basically are you doing a year now?
It depends on a given year, but I would say about 70.
Oh.
And it depends on an event. You know, for me, you could call and just say, I'm going to the courthouse and I need flowers and for my bride, you know, like a bride, a boutonniere, and maybe a table centerpiece. Is that an event? For us, it's really an order.
Okay.
It's more of if you're having 4 to 5 tables and blah, 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 that's considered an event. But again, having a party at Pattaya with 5 tables and a bridesmaid, that's an event.
It is.
So
it is.
It's not a huge event for us, but in the books, it's considered an event.
Right.
So it seems like it's a lot, but they're not all massive galas.
Right.
You know, they're all 200-person events.
Right. But for you have to take each one of those.
Each one of them. Yeah, and their one is just as important again. Because that family may have another party that's 300 people.
Right.
So you got to treat it like it's a 300-person event or it's a big dollar event.
Gotcha.
So
all right. So as we end here, I just decided that we're going to do this. I want you to nominate 3 people that you think should be on the show, that Libertyville should hear more about them and their backstory.
Oh, okay. I would say Eddie Bauer from Bauer's Catering.
Love Eddie.
Because he is a longtime Libertyville family.
Yes.
And cares truly about the community. I would say Jordan Leisure. She owns a chiropractic on Lake Street. Wow. And her mom owns Diamond Residential, which is great. And maybe, I don't know, I would say Mickey Fins, Brian
Awesome.
Grano. Yeah.
Awesome. Yeah, well, I will be in contact. So if you guys heard your names, yeah, we're coming for you.
We're coming for you.
We'll tag you.
Trust me, he's going to hound you down.
Exactly. Yeah, if you guys don't know anything about me, I will come and I will bother you until you do it. But what we're trying to do, and obviously anybody that listens to any of these podcasts, we're trying to build community, get people to know each other, even support local businesses even more than we already do. Because I think if people make a connection and maybe hear some more backstories about some small business owners, because I always drive by stores and things like I know what it takes to keep a business open, but these people have their hearts and souls behind what they do.
Oh, it's not easy.
No.
You know, as a small business, insurance and costs and everything are escalating so tremendously. It's catching up. It's hard to keep up with all of the expenses catching up quickly.
Yes.
You know, they're not making as much profits as you think one is.
Right. Because you hear people complain about from food prices to, going out to eat for a drink.
And we're trying to keep our prices low. I mean, I don't want to charge as much as I'm charging, but unfortunately, you have to mark it up to make money. I mean, I'm here to make money, so there's no question.
Right.
But by the same token, I don't want to feel like I'm gouging someone.
No. So I think it's important that people know that where our prices are. It's one of the things.
For sure.
So, hey, I appreciate your time. I appreciate you meeting me to get together.
Thanks.
Libertyville, wherever you're listening, do me a favor. If you're listening on Spotify, whether you're on Apple Podcasts, wherever you're at, even on YouTube, make sure you hit the subscribe button, because that way you'll be alerted every time an individual from the community is being interviewed, and to hear their stories. And I encourage everybody, especially listen to the people that you don't know. I think because the more we learn about our community, the more we learn about people, the further everybody kind of grows closer together. So.
Oh, yeah. And creates community.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. So, thank you, Danny.
Thanks
Thank you,
so
Liberty.
much for having me.
All right, and we'll see you next Tuesday, everybody.